Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate their ascension process. Today I'm going to talk about the 2016 September Equinox. It'll be another energy update. Okay, this is a very interesting and energy that is as powerful as we just got done going through with this full moon and eclipse, which just seemed like yesterday to many of us. I would say it's equally powerful, but very, very different. A little bit lighter, a little bit more positive, a little bit more of where I believe you'll get to actually experience more so the fruits of your labor of this last transit. However, it's also because it's so strong, you might find yourself a bit irritable, running into little like random things just popping into your life. But anyway, because this energy is so multifaceted, I can already feel myself getting scattered trying to kind of encapsulate it as best I can. So I'm going to break it down into a few different themes, just like my last video. So number one, you might notice that you're experiencing what appears or seems like racier thoughts, more dysfunctional and defensive and insecure, fear-based type of thought patterns that you just can't seem to shut up. Anytime you want to do something, anytime, especially if you're trying to step outside your comfort zone in some way, it's just going to be like on overdrive, almost like, come on, man, give it a break. And it can feel, again, like your thoughts have sped up, but they haven't. They've always been doing that. That's the whole thing. You, in your truth, in your true identity, you as a consciousness has changed. You're becoming more conscious, more aware, and therefore those thoughts that have always been there doing their little thing are becoming more like, whoa, 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 what's the deal? You're just seeing to a greater degree, with greater clarity, just how dysfunctional, neurotic, defensive, and insecure and fear-based they really are, and how repetitive they are. But that's a good thing, man, because you're now able to start to transcend the ego, and that's what you're doing. You're transcending the ego, and the ego seems like it's flaring up and running around rampant, but you're just becoming you're starting to form a new identity, more grounded in your truth and your real beingness, opposed to the combination of experiences which, like a computer, just stream these thoughts that many people think of themselves as. So if you're feeling like your thoughts are just going on overdrive and they're like really paranoid and negative and a little bit just out there and just so clearly insane, good. Because most people take counsel from those thoughts. You don't have to be that person, and that's why there's that shock of like, wow, why am I thinking this? And this might have started for you a few days ago, perhaps even during that full moon transit we just got done going through, but now you're going to experience more space, more of a distancing, less of the shock, like, oh my God, I'm so messed up. And you'll be able to start to just simply ignore it. And therefore, in ignoring it, your thoughts, your ego, meaning you'll stop fueling it, perpetuating it. It will slowly those patterns will stop. Again, they won't have as much steam and they'll stop playing out. They'll be more and frequent. And then your thoughts will eventually become more inspired thoughts. Your ego structure, which is not a bad thing. The word ego has a lot of negative connotation, but again, it's not a bad thing. It's just a tool that you as a holistic being can utilize. But in identifying with it, breeds a ton of dysfunction, and you're in the process again of harmonizing your ego structure with your true self. Very similar to what I just said, the whole premise, the whole understanding of an amplification of an outdated way of navigating your life, an outdated way of where you choose to identify with. The similar manifestation is going to occur within your emotions. You might have felt this full moon recently, and this eclipse brought up a ton of really heavy, dense, influential emotions. And it's just, they've come up and they're stuck there. And you're just like, God, enough already. You feel like you can't get anything done. You're wearing this heavy jacket of all your old crap, all your old negative experiences that have turned into, again, emotional cycles. It's all like right there at the surface, and you feel like you're suffocated by it. This equinox is going to allow you to finally let it go, because it had to get so out there, so intense, for you to see it as not really you, not what you prefer. And then it just takes a little bit of time. Or here on Earth, things do take time, but now you're going to feel that your real energy is going to start to kind of take precedence again, and start to outweigh and overshadow this emotional heaviness. It might still be present and linger for a little while, but now you finally have the ability to ignore it and go forth, not from it. You know, you might have these things you want to do, and every time you try to do something, you take a step forward in that direction, and oh no, this fear and this anxiety and these doubts and all that stuff is like so powerful. You're like, whoa, I'm not going to even try to tread that way, because this is just too much. It's not going to come out. It's going to be too influenced by those emotions. But again, now you'll be able to go forward. The emotions might be there to a lesser degree, though, and you'll have the ability to not allow them to influence your action. Your higher self and spirit is sort of returning. It'll probably leave again so you can learn and go back in, but right now it's coming back. So take advantage, enjoy it. Know you have the potential to transcend all of these emotions. All of the emotions that come up that you don't like how they feel, you realize them as dysfunctional, it's because they're on their way out. And because your higher self is re-emerging inside of yourself, you're going to be able to sort of see and be illuminated with as to the true source of these emotions that you have and just been carrying around. Sort of like the ego mind. You've always had these. They've always been stifling you, but you're just now suddenly super aware of it, to the point where you're like, this has got to stop. And now as you experience this contrast and this greater awareness, you say, I don't like this. I don't want to feel this way. I see it as not really in alignment with my true real self. And therefore your intentions are going out there into the cosmos, and now the process is unfolding where you're going to actually unburden yourself of all those. And in doing so, with this greater consciousness, you might discover that a lot of these emotions that you've just been carrying around as if they're actually yours are not even yours. They could be your parents or anybody else who has been heavily influential into your life as a young child. They might have felt the way you feel now. They had their own reasons for feeling that way, and because you've been immersed in their energy as such an open little child being, you sometimes can take in those energies and those emotions and then go through life as if they're yours. But as this awakening ensues and you're guided to take action and go towards your dreams, which are a reflection of your true self, you bump into these emotions and then therein that's the whole process we've been going through. But again, in the discovery that, wow, this is not my emotion, that's when you can get the release. Oh God, and it feels so good. 3, you might feel a little bit of a carryover of this Mercury retrograde energy. Although if you watch this video like tomorrow or the next day, it's kind of on its way out. But usually the front and tail end of Mercury retrograde are the strongest, meaning the energies are most characteristic of the retrograde periods, which is a time of not going forward, rather a time of gaining information and redoing things that perhaps could have been done better. So we've been in this Mercury retrograde period for a while now, for a few weeks basically. It goes direct today, and you might have just gathered so many things that you want to redo and restructure and go do and go accomplish, but you wake up every day without the motivation. You wake up with that emotional heaviness, and your to-do list is just racking up things to do, and it can be kind of overwhelming. Like, God, not only do I not see how I could feasibly get all this done, but when is my mojo going to come back to where I can even begin? You might be sort of desperate to start taking action, but it's just not ready yet. The timing is not ripe yet. Until now. It basically is going direct now. So again, even though you've been feeling that way a while, you can expect to start feeling better. And when the tides turn, when Mercury goes direct and it finally takes effect, which it can take a few days, you're going to feel that massive to-do list will shrink very rapidly. Because when you're reconnected and the energies are actually supportive of that explosive forward action, you will be blown away at just how much you can get done and accomplish, how efficient you are, and just how productive you can be. So I know it's for me anyway, it can be very nerve-wracking to be going forward and then stop for a while. I want to go forward, but I can't. But you'll always get to go forward again. This whole thing is all in cycles, man. And the more you can just sort of honor the nature of the cycles and go with it, and not allow your mind to make you think that you need to be doing something because you set a particular goal beforehand, and just can, again, be more fluid and responsive to the energies that you all have the ability now to perceive. 4, real quick, I'm going to explain this bump on my head because it really does pertain to the characteristics of the energy. Again, these energies are going to support your transcendence of all that garbage I just mentioned, and that's a good thing. But they are also equally very powerful, very strong, very potent. Meaning there's less room for, like slacking off. There's very little room now for sloppiness. What I just did about a minute before shooting this video was a display of sloppiness, and the universe gave me a smack on the head. I'll just explain real quick. So one of the issues that have been coming up for me as I've been on this camping trip, I've been walking my dogs, and my dogs are always just sort of like, I get really worked up emotionally when they're not perfectly well behaved. And a long time ago, when I was like 21 or so, I got this big like pit bull dog. And I love the breed. We don't have them anymore, but I got him, even though I loved the dog. I got him for sort of egoic reasons, because I thought it added to my ego, my status. I was cool because it was a very well-trained, beautiful pit bull. Everyone loved it. And anyway, we had this Russian dog trainer come to our house and train this dog. He was so freaking trained, man. But this trainer said to me, he said, when this dog doesn't behave, you take that as a personal insult, because you're the pack leader. And if he's not doing what you're supposed to do, then he's like disrespecting you. And that was just his way of trying to get me to have like an assertive energy. He didn't really, I don't think he meant that literally, but I took it literally. So I just realized this recently. Every time my dogs misbehave, my emotional reaction is so out of control compared to like, wow, whoop-de-doo, man, your dog walking 6 inches in front of your knee, big deal. So anyway, I was shooting this video, and my dogs are tied up over there. One of them, I put one inside, but I had this younger puppy, Boston Terrier, and she's got this freaking fetish with squirrels and birds, and she was like, crying. And because I was like in the zone making my video, I just got so mad that I ripped this microphone off just a second ago. I stormed over there, I grabbed her. I would never hurt her or anything, but I was so mad, and I was gonna go like put her inside, and I walked right into this awning that's sticking out of my camper. I might be bleeding right now, and I boom, floored me. And then what happened? I was on the ground, stole this dog in my hand, and it started licking me. Even though I was just like yelling at it and swearing at it and flipping out, and I know the dog is a little puppy, can sense my negative energy towards it, and it is still so sweet and loving. And now that experience helped me. I'm not gonna say, oh wow, that was just unfortunate. No, these experiences, even if it's bad like that, it taught me something. It said, hey man, get over it. Your dogs love you. You don't need them to be, freaking show quality training status. Let it go. And I will. That was enough for me to get rid of this energy. Because I walk them almost every single morning, and I experience this anxiety every single morning. So if it's going to take something, even though it hurt my head a little bit, to let go and unburden myself of that, then I'll be very grateful for it. So again, the energy is powerful. You might find yourself a little bit uptight and irritable and very quick to temper, like I just did. Because I was in the zone, man. I was in my channeling zone. And then it took that little bit of that like nails on the chalkboard cry from my little puppy, and I freaking lost it. Okay, so if you find yourself doing that during these amplified energetic windows, don't beat yourself up, man. Don't, because it's just you're so perceptive, and you feel the energy so intensely, and your soul is trying to get you to transform so quickly that you're just doing your best. Okay, so I forgave myself. and you should forgive yourself if you have a similar situation. Lastly, I just want to address something that I see as a strong commonality among a lot of the viewers, a lot of the people who are going through their awakening, especially people who just started out. I see a lot of people saying, man, I just can't wait for this to be over. This is so horrible. I just can't stand this awakening. And dude, I'll preface it with, I feel you, man. I know how it is. I had those same thoughts so many times during my awakening, but I'm just going to be blunt here. You're going to transcend the desire to be done far before you are actually done. The truth is, there is no being done. There is no getting done. You're in for a long journey, and your mind thinks it wants to skip over that journey and get to where you're done. But that's not reality. You are eternal. We constantly are experiencing stuff in our consciousness. So that's just a sort of like a mental projection, the idea of being done. And the sooner you can sort of let that go, the sooner you'll be done, paradoxically speaking. Okay? There is no done. And the desire to have this all be over is only keeping you unhappy. It is only when you actually embrace the journey that you will find peace and happiness. You can find joy and excitement and happiness and all of the emotions that many of you are attaching to a future situation that you have in your mind that you think you need to feel this way. The whole trick is you can feel that way now. And then you can enjoy the journey along the way. And then when you get to that projection, which we all have them, it's not bad to want things or situations to unfold in our life, but when you get there, you'll be in the state of consciousness actually able to revel and enjoy and truly soak it in, rather than do what most people do is they get there and it's a high, like a euphoria, and then it's like, then you're like depressed again, looking out the window at something else in the distance that you don't have, and you experience just the feelings of lack and not yet quite there. So just be honest with yourself about that, and perhaps you'll be in a place now where you can transcend that, okay? Because again, that's just a roadblock to your success, a roadblock to your happiness, to your serenity, to your peace of mind, and again, to the life you really want. You can enjoy every moment of this journey. I just smacked my frickin' skull on an awning and fell on my ass, and I might be bleeding now. I know you can probably see a bump. And was I happy in that moment? No, but I'm over it now. Immediately, I can see the value in it. Like 5 minutes after, maybe, not immediately. I was pretty pissed off that happened. But that's the thing, man. You have the ability now to move on from these little setbacks and challenges and issues, rather than dwelling on them so much and letting them really influence your mood where you're just sulking all the time, okay? So I wish you well. You guys have just overcome a phenomenally transformative month. You're all stronger, lighter, more enlightened, more loving, and just more in tune people as a result, okay? And if you can do it with this last transit, trust me, you can do it with anything. You can get through anything. So be strong. Namaste.